Good day. Welcome to another series of Chemistry Just Got Easier with DR Tutors. In this class, we are going to be talking about stoichiometry of reaction. Stoichiometry of reaction is the calculation of the amount of reactants and products in the reaction. It tells the volume of reactant needed for the reaction and the amount of products formed. To get a better understanding of this, let's try to take a look at the example on the board. We have calculated the mass of solid products obtained when 16.8 grams of sodium hydrogen carbonate was heated strongly until there was no further change. Now we have an equation for reaction. We have 2NaHCO3 solid to give Na2CO3 solid plus H2O gas plus CO2 gas. The first step is let's check if this equation of reaction is balanced. We have 2 atoms of sodium. We have 2 atoms of sodium because 2 times 1 gives 2. We have hydrogen, 1 times 2, 2. That is 2 atoms of hydrogen. Here we have 2 atoms of hydrogen. For carbon, 1 times 2, 2. 2 atoms of carbon. Here we have 1 plus 1, 2 atoms of carbon. Carbon is balanced. For oxygen, 3 atoms times 2, that is 6. 6 atoms of oxygen. And here we have 3 plus 1, that is 4, plus 2, that is 6. Oxygen is balanced, which shows that our equation obeys the law of conservation of mass, which we learned in the previous class. Now, going back to the question, says calculate the mass of solid products obtained when 16.8 grams of sodium hydrogen carbonate was heated. Solid products. The only solid products we have here is Na2CO3, that is sodium carbonate. Remember, we said the equation of reaction tells us the states of the reactants and products. And we have S here solid, S stands for solid, G for gas. L is for liquid in an equation where you have L. Now let's see, meaning we are going to try to calculate the mass of Na2CO3 formed because that is the only solid we have in the products. Now, so we are given the mass here, but before we actually work with the mass in the question, let's try to calculate the mass of the reactants and the mass of the product. So we have 2 moles of NaHCO3 giving rise to 1 mole of Na2CO3 solid. And we have also learned in one of our previous classes that to convert mole to mass, you will simply multiply the mole by the molar mass. So now it'll be 2 times sodium has a relative atomic mass of 23. You just have 1 atom of sodium here, times 1, plus hydrogen has a relative atomic mass of 1. I will just have 1 atom of hydrogen, times 1, plus carbon. Carbon has a relative atomic mass of 12. We have just 1 atom of carbon, 12 times 1, plus oxygen. Oxygen has a relative atomic mass of 16, and we have 3 atoms of oxygen. That is 16 times 3. Now remember, these 2 is actually multiplying everything in the brackets. Now let's move on to this. 1 mole, that is 1 times. Sodium is 23. We have 2 atoms of sodium. That is 2 times 23. Plus 1 atom of carbon, 1 times 12. Plus 3 atoms of oxygen. That is 3 times 16. So let's see. 2 times 23 times 1 gives 23, plus 1 times 1 gives 1, plus 12 times 1 gives 12, 60 times 3 gives 48. And then you have this now, the mass of Na2CO3. Don't forget you have 1 times 2 times 23 gives 46, plus 1 times 12 gives 12, plus 3 times 16 gives 48. So let's calculate the mass of NaHCO3. So NaHCO2, so we have 2 times 23 plus 1 gives 24. 24 plus 12 gives 23 plus 1 gives 24. 24 plus 12 gives 36. 36 plus 48 gives 84. And here we have 1 times 46 plus 12 give 58. 58 plus 48 give 106. Yes. So 2 times 48, 2 times 84 rather, give 168 grams, which is the mass. The mass of NaHCO3. We are able to convert the moles of NaHCO3 to mass, and that is 168 grams. So from the equation of reaction, we avoid that 68 grams of NaHCO3 given 106 grams of Na2CO3. So from the reaction, we have mass. Now, we have mass of NaHCO3 to be 168 grams, mass of Na2CO3 to be 106 grams. Now, let's go back to the question. The question says, calculate the mass of solid products from when 16.8 grams of NaHCO3 was heated strongly until there was no further change. Now, the mass given in the question is 16.8 grams. So we want to know what will be the mass of solid product of cane. What will be the mass of sodium carbonate for cane? So that is 16.8 grams. We give X a gram of Na2CO3, which is the mass of solid product. So let's try to do the cross multiplication in order to get our answer. So an arrow pointing to this and an arrow pointing to this. So we have X multiplied by this, X gram of Na2CO3 times 168 is equals to 106 times 16.8 grams. In order to get the X gram of Na2CO3, you divide both sides by 168. So you have X gram of Na2CO3 is equals to 106 times 16.8 divided by 168. When you input this value into the calculator, you get the mass of Na2CO3 to be 10.6 grams. Meaning that the mass of solid products that will be obtained when 16.8 grams of sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated is 10.6 grams. Thank you for listening. Book the tutors for your personalized online chemistry, mathematics, and biology classes at an affordable price. Follow the tutors for daily chemistry and mathematics content. Follow, like, and share. Bye. See you next time.